K-Man don't know shit.
Hey gang, welcome back. I know it's been a while, but that's the way it goes, right? I'm super excited for this episode. This is episode number 17. I'm going to have my good friend, Mr. Bobble, Robin Smith, all the way from the UK. And we've been on tour together, and he basically introduced me to Europe for the first time. And I can't wait to see how he's doing and how things are over in England right now, because it's been quite a year over there as well. So listen, make sure to hit the subscribe, slap the bell thing, and if you want to be a producer, just any tip in the virtual tip jar, the link is below, and you will be listed as a producer of the following episode. So that's how to directly support the episode. And yeah, let's do this. All right, let's get it on.
Oh, K-Man don't know
Brother,
shit.
it's been forever. I haven't seen you in over a year.
Far too long, mate. Far too long.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we were supposed to see each other again, and then all this lockdown stuff happened. You know, last time I saw you, you were going to come tour in Canada and ended up just hanging out at my house for a week.
Yeah, that was the best cancelled tour I've ever been on, to be honest.
Right? Just hang out and go to shows and have a good time. Nothing wrong with that.
That's it. Yeah. What could have been so terrible and what was set up to fail actually ended up just being bloody lovely and really productive as well. We got loads of writing done, Danny, So it was.
Well, that's it. Like you guys wrote basically a bunch of new stuff lately. I just heard that you guys put out a new song, "Stomp 'Em Down."
Yeah. So it's finally out. Sorry. Beer started fizzing over.
What are you drinking?
I'm actually drinking a brew by our good friends in Sunliner, a band that we have toured with before. But yeah, to celebrate their new release, they teamed up with a brewery and made a very nice lager. So yeah, cheers.
Well,
how about
cheers,
you?
then. I'm drinking a little Appleton today on ice.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, "Stomp 'Em Down." I just heard it again today because it had been a while since I heard it, and it sounds great, man.
Oh, thank you so much. We are so happy with it. It is, it's been one of these where we've had it as a new song for ages now. We've been sat on it, wanting to do something with it, and never getting the time or never getting well enough practice to actually go and sort it out. And so to finally have it out now is great.
Well, fantastic. What I like about that track is I find it really it's a track that defines your band's sound. Faintest Idea. It sounds like you guys. You know what I mean? It has all the elements. It's super crisp, horns right at the get-go. And I heard you guys got a bit of heat and stuff, or a little discussion going with that song. Yeah, I'm paying attention, man.
Yeah, excellent. I'm actually wearing the shirt now. I received my first bit of internet hate because someone thought that me wearing a Pokemon Liberation Army t-shirt made me a man baby in cargo shorts that need to grow up, which
is that what they said? Baby? I like that.
A man baby in cargo shorts. Yeah. But,
what exactly was the issue though? What were people talking about?
Oh, well, I think it's an anti-fascist song. You know, you put an anti-fascist song out nowadays, and unfortunately,
it draws the fascists.
they crawl out from the depths of the internet, and fortunately, touch wood, it's not been too bad. It's mostly just been the odd moron here or there, but yeah, no, it's and again, anything that winds up a fascist is fun. So I'm all for it.
Well, that's it. You know, it's interesting times we live in, because I find it's been a long time since people are outright coming out. You know what I mean? And I prefer to see where the enemy's at than have them hidden away anyway. You know, if there's one thing I can thank Trump for, it's for like drawing them out.
That's it. You know, allowing people to say the quiet part out loud. Which is terrifying in some ways, because it turns out there's fucking loads of them. There's, all coming out of the woodwork now. But as you say, it makes it very easy to steer clear. Keep an eye on people.
Well, how are things over in England? I mean, like, I want to get to how the virus was handling, because with the leadership over there, if I'm not, from what I hear, it's been a little touchy.
It's been fantastic, hey man. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh Christ, mate! It's so basically, I actually made one of the silliest decisions of my life. Just before the lockdown was announced all over Europe. So my best mate moved out to Sicily a few years back, and I've never been to see him, and he's just had a kid. So, you know, when I booked it, like coronavirus, I hadn't even heard of it. And then, like, literally, I was out there the weekend that it all got locked down. So I like go out to Sicily. We're landing in this like tiny airport. Like, I've flown out from Heathrow. There's been no issues, anything like that. In Sicily, we're like temperature checks. Like, everyone's masked up. It's insane. Like, over the course of that weekend, things get more and more nuts. Like, I'm freaking out if I'm not going to be able to get home, anything like this. Like, again, flying back, it's all masks and temperature checks and shit before you're allowed on the plane. And then we land in Heathrow, like one of the busiest airports in the world, and we're just in with everyone else in immigration control, in with everyone else in baggage checking. And it was like, oh no, we're really not taking this seriously at all, are we? And yeah, started bad and kind of only got worse. But yeah,
well, that's it, because at that time when that happened, wasn't like Italy was the second spot that really got hit hard, right? I mean, after Asia and stuff. I mean, it was unbelievable. The timing couldn't be any worse for you.
But then again, as I say, it was mad because like I was here in England where they said we were under like a lockdown, but it wasn't. You were just asked nicely to stay inside. And talking to like my mates in Italy and stuff that were saying, you know, oh yeah, you literally have to have a special permission to go outside. You have to download, and if you get stopped by the pigs, if you can't show it to them and convince them you are out for a good reason, they like walk you back to your house and fine you €300. Like in fucking China, they were like welding people into the houses and shit. That's a lockdown. Like
they offer you a beer and stop at the pub on the way home.
But yeah, here we had exactly the pubs as well, because they literally were like, oh yeah, we're going to close the pubs. We're going to close the pubs on Saturday. So everyone just went out on the Friday and got fucking blasted because they were like, they're closing the pubs. Oh, it's hilarious. But yeah,
that's wild.
They've pretty much given up now. They're just hoping that no one noticed all the fucking vulnerable and elderly people dying, and yeah, just carry on. So
well, that's it. I mean, didn't Europe just release a list like yesterday and said like no Americans are going to be allowed into Europe? But what about England? Yeah. I mean, it's basically the same thing, right?
Brexit means Brexit, mate. That's still desperately trying to push that shit through. So yeah,
right.
It's nuts, man. Yeah, I've never really understood, like, there's that like Chinese curse of may you live in interesting times. And I've never really understood it until now. Now it's like, oh yeah, no shit, actually, this is it's too interesting.
Well, just so the people listening have an idea, where are you right now?
So I'm in Norwich, which is in the east of England, UK. Yeah, no, in lockdown with me and the dog Solo. I don't know if you can.
Oh, Solo! Yeah. Oh, there he is. Oh, he's got a cone on. He's cone head. What did he do?
So he managed to shake his head so much he burst a blood vessel in his ear, and then had to have like surgery. And yeah, he's now been in a cone for the better part of a month, and he's probably going to be wearing it for a while. Stupid little thing.
Well, he's on the mend at least, right?
That's it. He's back to his normal self, getting up to mischief. So keeping me sane, man, just about.
When I met you, it was my first time ever in England. I don't know if you remember, but I was all wide-eyed and looking for every single party I could find,
Yeah, I think that didn't change much every subsequent time I've ever met you, K-Man, to be honest.
Hey, one life to live, brother.
That's it, damn straight. But yeah, that tour, man, was so good. That was so much fun. It was
totally epic, man. Yeah,
I think for
basically
us
what we did is.
Oh, you go.
Well, yeah, because that was our first tour in Europe, and we hooked up with you guys. I remember Jack Brew. We went over to his place the first night we got there, and our first stop, I think we just walked in, dropped our bags, and went to the pub right away, you know? And it was my first time experiencing a British pub. And man, I gotta say, everybody I bumped into was super friendly and just wanted to hang out all night long, you know? It was great, and everybody I've met from there, I had a good time with. And you guys are animals. You know, in the best way, of course.
Yeah, no, that's it. We know how to have fun on tour. We tend to have a laugh, have a few
Well,
shandies.
I remember. I think we were in Germany at with Shorty Media, right?
Yeah.
Big shout out to Shorty. How you doing, my brother?
Big shout out to Shorty.
And your lady. Yeah, man. And we went in there and he walked up to us and he's like, "Fuck machine. You need fuck machine on stage?" And we're all like, "What the hell is this guy talking about? Fuck machine on stage? Welcome to Germany, right?" It took us at least 15 minutes to figure out that he really meant to say fog machine. But he kept saying fuck machine. You need fuck machine on stage? Half the band was like, "Well, maybe."
I'd completely forgotten that. Yeah.
And then that night, they just lined like every member of Faintest Idea and K-Man the 45s in one huge room. And I remember we were all sleeping one beside the other, you know,
Yeah.
like 3 mattresses just thrown on the floor.
It's almost human Jenga, weren't it? All like just stacked up and Tetrising yourself into things.
Absolutely. I was trying to figure out who snored the most, but somebody told me it was probably me. So, you know?
Yeah, it's either you or Brew.
Right, exactly. Have you guys been able to get together and play any music these days at all with all this lockdown and stuff?
So we tried to do a few things like over Zoom and stuff, and there's just no way of it working. Now they start. The upside of our government not giving a shit anymore is they've basically relaxed everything down to fuck all. So like a few of us were able to like get together and have a bit of a jam like the other week, and that was fucking great, man. Just remembering like, oh shit, yeah, music is really fun, isn't it? That's why I've dedicated like a fucking year, all of this of my life to it.
Well, that's it. How many years have you been in Faintest Idea?
So I joined Faintest Idea when I was 18, 19, so 11, 12 years now.
Wow, a young Bobble.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they're literally a group of strange men I met on the internet. Like, it's back in the days of MySpace. I think I came home and it was just like hopping from bands to bands, and they put a shout out asking for brass players. My knowledge of geography was so shit, I had no idea I was agreeing to join a band on the other side of the country. And then for the next 5 years, I just drove cross country every weekend for shows. It was
and nothing changed, right? 12 years later, here you are.
Well, I've moved slightly closer now. I've made the decision to, come out, which is
you just want to live closer to Danny, I'm sure, right?
That's it. Yeah, he's never a dull moment. But now, as I say, now we've got I've got a DI input thing, and we're trying to figure out a way to get some demos. Like Doug, our new drum player, has recently got an electric kit, and so we're trying to put stuff together so that we don't come out of this super rusty. Because that was the other annoying thing about this. We had in fact, the songs that we wrote when we were staying at yours, we basically had them so close to ready, and if this had held off a couple more weeks, we might have had more than just one song to put out. So we were all just sat ready, waiting to go. And so we're all kind of just nervously wanting to get back out there while they're still in our heads and smash them out.
For sure. I totally get that. For the whole recording thing too, I mean, it's hard because we did the same thing. We did a few of those those collage videos that all the bands are putting out and stuff like this. But I mean, the process, it's not like, some people think you're all playing at once, and it's not at all, because it's next to impossible to do that because there's lag involved, you know what I mean? Like no one would be playing in time at all. I mean, how I ended up doing it is I would do a guitar track and then send it to the drummer. The drummer would put on a beat over that. Okay, send it to the bass player. He'd play to it. So you're not actually playing together. You're layering stuff on top of it. And then by the end, because you always want to be playing to the drums, so once it would go from the drummer with my scratch track, then it would go to the bass player, then the horn players, then back to me. Yeah. Then I would take off my original track and then play to the drums. You know what I mean? So it actually has a better feel, and then do the vocals on top of that. But I mean, just to go through that whole process, and everybody, filming at home, and not everybody's really set up for recording, Oh, fuck, man, what a headache. Right? And I mean, and then you have to try to make it sound decent, but I mean, people are recording, trombone. Josh was at home with his, iPhone, and okay, I'll get the horns of this, and send you the track and shit like that.
Right.
It takes a lot more work than people think.
Wrapped in a hat, under a pillow on the other side of a room, you're facing the other way,
Right? That's called natural EQ, just wrapping up the microphone.
No, definitely, man. And then if you want to do like a video, something to put out, you've then got to do that awkward video miming, like having it, but on your own in your front room, which is even more weird. Like it's
Exactly, yeah. That's when you just film the top, but if everybody stood up, you'd see everybody was just actually in their underwear the whole time. I'm like, whoa!
Yeah, I suppose you got the guitar to cover it. I can't really get away with that with a trombone. It's a bit difficult.
You're just standing out there with your tromboner. What's the music scene like right now in England? I mean, like, people aren't doing shows yet, I imagine.
No. So it's all completely shut down. It's quite a worrying time, to be honest. Like at the moment, they're talking about. I mean, at low estimates, at least 400 venues closing. And like, as I say, I've been in Faintest Idea 11 years. I've been gigging since I was 15. Like, I couldn't think of 400 venues across the UK. And obviously, like, I'm done to my scene and stuff. But yeah, and again, all the talk about like being able to do shows like drive-in shows or something like that. It just,
yeah.
I don't know, for our scene especially, like our type of music is all like, we're not about the music. Like, you know, we've managed to get this far by not being great, but by jumping around and giving it fucking all of the energy and enthusiasm. And like,
well, that's it for any band that's like an energetic live band. Yeah, it's hard. I mean, I feed off the crowd myself, and if, you know, people are sitting in a car eating fucking popcorn or some bullshit, I'd be like, whatever, man. You know? That's it. We'll just go hang out at the strippers and drink all night.
So yeah, the socially distant strip club. That's
mm-hmm.
But no,
it's that,
right? I'll defer to your knowledge on that, man.
No, they made it like a drive-through, and you kind of drive by, and then they'd have a dancer like dancing on the side. You know, I don't know if it was done in a parking lot or whatever, but I saw a video on that. I'm like, what?
I'm not surprised. Fantastic. But yeah, so
it's basically hard too to make plans, right? Like, I mean, you know, when do you start booking shows is the big question, because as soon as like green light goes, every single band in the whole world is also going to want to book in that moment, right?
Well, this thing we booked, so like our next booked gig is next February, and like the shit bit of that is not only booking a gig, like, I mean, when we booked it about 8 months in advance, but also not knowing if we're even going to be able to play in 8 months. And like we've had people, so I think there's a couple of American bands that are still hoping to tour over here next year, and like there's a few dates that we've been asked if we can like jump on with some people. And again, we're saying yes, but like you said before, all of Europe is saying no to America, and with everything going even more nuts here and there, like it's just really weird not having any idea how long this is going to last and what the hell's going to happen next. It's oh
man, I feel you. We're in the exact same position. We just booked some shows for November, but I mean, you know, because venues want to book as well, because nobody's sure how it's going to go, so you have to book them. But like you say, we don't know if it's going to happen or not.
That's it. It's going to be interesting. I think it's again, and I consider ourselves lucky in Faintest Idea, because we have been going a long time. You know, we have done some really fucking cool shit. Like, even if we didn't actually get to gig in Canada, like we got booked to gig in Canada. We've been to, like, you know, we did Japan, we went to fucking Russia. Like we've done cool shit. And if everything does return to like the old days of like fucking village halls or like house shows and squat gigs and stuff like this, like that's okay. Like we've already done some really cool shit, but it sucks like that might be what it's returning to. And the fact that so much like music isn't going to get to happen in the way that like we got to get it to happen. It's just have to hope.
We're definitely going to have to get creative.
Yeah, that's it.
You know, like, because like financially right now, we're just freaking the hell out. And you mentioned before all the venues closing. I think for like, you know, bands that have been around for a long time really feel it, like, because like without venues and all the contacts you make in these different cities and stuff, you know, you really realize that you're working together. I mean, if the venues aren't doing well, the bands have no place to play. You know, it sounds obvious, but I mean, remember all these young bands that are just starting out and they walk into a venue and they're like telling off the promoter and shit like that, you know, kind of get away with it. Then book another place next time because they won't be asked back. But I mean, in this situation with all the, like you said, 400 venues closing.
Yeah,
I mean,
at
it's
least,
insane.
At
Like,
least.
yeah, we're going through the exact same thing here too.
Yeah. Well, and again, you've seen it like in the States. Is it Live Nation, the like ticket booking people being like, right, well, now all of the responsibility is on the artist. If the gig gets cancelled, they have to accept all the fees. We're like upping the percentage we're taking and all this kind of stuff, like shifting all of the blame onto the artist during a time like this. It's it's
fucking disgraceful.
Scary. Yeah, yeah, it's fucking horrific. But yeah, we'll see.
I find my level of patience has really went down for stupidity lately. You know what I mean? Like, I used to kind of let things go by and just continue doing my thing. But these days, it's hard to let things go, man. I mean, it's so fucking outrageous.
Constant, I think it's never ending. Like, it's all these little bits that before would be like a tiny crack in the dam or like a little like prod at you. And now there's just everything. And it's just like, I
think it happens to me about once a day where, you know, I get all frustrated. So I have to share some post about fucking, you know, Uncle Pigfucker, I like to call him, you know, Trump over there. And, you know, he's sharing some white power thing or, you know, sharing these couples aiming guns at protesters and stuff like this and saying, don't forget your heritage. I mean, this guy literally grew up inside the KKK, right? But then you post something like that, then you have some guy that you may not know well or whatever, but you're aware that he's, you know, on your Facebook or whatever. And then he posts, you know, Trump is the best thing that ever happened to the US. And it's like,
fucking hell, man. Like, I made the worst decision of my life. I was off Facebook for fucking ages. Like, I had my account, but it wasn't like on my phone or anything. I kept it to like keep in touch with band people. But at the beginning of lockdown, I was like, oh, I'll get Facebook back on my phone again so I can make sure all my mates are doing okay. It was the worst fucking decision I ever made. Like, completely.
The amount of stress on there right now.
and as you say, you end up like in a state where you're like, it's 3 a.m. and I'm arguing with like an ex-work colleague of my uncle that's, you know, just never met, just getting really apoplectic with rage. And so yeah, I've managed to like try escape that again. Just because, yeah, fuck me, it's just constant, isn't it? And like the worst bit we had here was all the people that were saying, anytime you made any criticism, it was all this like, oh, they're doing the best they can. You know, they've tried everything. It's like, this fucking party has been in power for 10 years. Like, they've literally got the biggest like governmental mandate any like party has got in the last 100 years. Like, and you're telling me that they didn't have the power to fucking do it because all they could do is be like, oh, please stay inside. Like, it's fucking bizarre, man. Like,
would you say that, like, check this out. Would you say that it's the first time in history, I mean, with everything going on in England, and of course, the whole world is bombarded with what's going on in the United States, but I mean, like, I find it's the first time in my lifetime where it's so incredibly blatant how they're treating their population as complete dummies. You know what I mean? Like, how can you be so condescending, just blatantly lie? Yes, we can say politicians have always lied, but this is like next level stuff. It's like, you don't even think anybody has a thought of their own or any intelligence. It's just like this dumbed down version of leadership right now. And I find it flabbergasting. You know what I mean? Like, as the population is getting more and more educated, it's like the leadership is getting less and less educated. And it's just
blatant. They're just not even bothering to pretend anymore, which again, it's just almost weirdly refreshing that everyone has just been like, no, we are just evil at this point. We are just clearly nasty people. It's fucking,
like I said at the start, the only good thing is now is that we know it. We can see it. You know, it's like say, oh, I always knew there was like white supremacists around. But did we really know there is so many? You know, like, what the fuck, man?
No, it's as I say, it's all a bit nuts, all a bit intense. But like, I don't know. Again, I don't want to be one of these wankers that's like, oh, watch this YouTube video or whatever. But there's a journalist and documentary maker called Adam Curtis that made a documentary called Hypernormalization. That is basically. Hypernormalization was a type of sci-fi movie made in the late stages of the Soviet Union, and basically the idea of the documentary and like of a lot of the stuff in those movies was the idea that everyone at the top knows it can't carry on forever, like things aren't working. Everyone at the bottom knows everyone at the top knows everything isn't working, but then everyone at the top knows and it's just this cycle of everyone knowing that shit isn't working, but no one like actually being able to be like, hang on, this is weird. And again, like the idea 2 days before the Berlin Wall fell that communism was just going to disappear, like would never have crossed anyone's mind in so many parts of that world. And it's weird being in sort of that stage where everyone knows this system is crumbling and corrupt and shitty and terrible, and everyone's starting to call it out. And as you say, the people at like the ruling classes are now not even pretending anymore, and it's just fucking weird, man. It's but no, that's I recommend it. I'd say it's
yeah. Maybe throw me the link after. I'll post it under the video.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. It's it's a long one, but it's not like a crazy conspiracy theory YouTube video. It's a good one.
Aside from music, have you been able to work or anything because basically what I want to get at, I don't know if you're able to work or not, but in England, are they helping people out financially and stuff right now? Like, are there any measures? Because I'm lucky as shit to be in Canada. Yeah. I mean, basically everybody in Canada that can't work is getting $2,000 a month.
Yeah. So we've not got anything like that, unfortunately. So I was very lucky, and I've been very lucky in that I work within the NHS, but within like a children's services sector of the NHS. So I'm not facing any of the virus or anything like this, but my job has still continued on. So I'm not incredibly clued up, but I know lots of my friends have basically, we had the furlough scheme where you didn't go into work and the government paid 80% of your wages, and your employer had to like top that up. But that's now started to be phased out, and like more and more people are like being sacked off as places are either opening up like in smaller capacities or like less and less. And yeah, again, we're in this kind of situation where everything's just tumbling forward, waiting for it all to collapse. But yeah, no, as I say, I'm very, very lucky in that I've been able to continue with my job. And yeah, I know that there's a lot of people that are really not in the same situation I am.
For sure. What about the other boys in your band? How's Jack Player doing? How's Danny doing? Are they working as well?
So yeah, as far as I know, so Doug works in a school, so he's kind of on a weird rolling rota where he works for a couple of weeks and then has like a few weeks off to make sure he hasn't caught anything, and then goes in again. Jackie P, I've not spoken to a huge amount. I hope he's doing all right. Like I imagine he's like owning his own business,
Jack
like
Player.
T-shirt running. Yeah, man. Like, yeah, fucking love you, man. Hope if you are listening, hit me up. Yeah, I can imagine that's going to be shit. Little Dan, I think again his jobs are slowly starting to reopen, but I think he's been furloughed for a while. And then Danny, similar to Doug, is kind of on like a rolling scheme because yeah, he's working with like the ambulances and stuff like that. So it's similarly has a few shifts on and then has a bit of time off to see if he's caught the Rona, and then yeah, back in again. So
what about with housing and stuff? You know what's happening like when people can't make rent and stuff like that? Is that a big issue right now in England?
So I think there have been some measures put in place to like try and help people with that, but our government is incredibly like pro-landlord. Like anything that is being put into place is very much like the government will pay the rent. Like they're not helping the actual renters to find a way to help themselves. Yeah, I think at the beginning of this they did like quite a big initiative to try and bring like homeless people into like hotel rooms and stuff like that. But again, that's slowly being phased out as the hotels are now being asked to reopen and stuff like this. And again, our country's got really shit laws against squatting. So there's just people being kicked back out into the street and shit like this. It's the Tories aren't famed for being very caring, to be honest. They're not the nicest of people.
For sure. And somebody's got to fix that dude's hair, man.
No, that's his hot thing, man. That's literally.
Remember this one?
I do
remember
indeed.
That? We put it to good use, right?
Excellent, man. I'm glad it lives on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Canada. That was so good.
Man, I really want to get you guys back here. Christina, my lady, was asking about you as well and said to say hi.
Oh man, give
I
her
said
my
I'd
best.
get
To give Django my love as well. Like that's I miss you guys so much. Like again, even if we don't come over as a band, like me and Danny know from experience that just coming and hanging out is super fun. So
For sure. Now, when you were here last time, you touched on it before. You guys were doing some writing sessions here in my basement, actually right where I'm sitting right now.
Yeah,
and
man.
What's going on with those songs? Are you guys planning on getting in the studio and recording them?
100%. So yeah, as I say, we've been working on them. We've got a new drummer in, Doug. As I say, like since that tour didn't happen, and so we've kind of had to take some time to like nail the ideas down and like get everything like written up to scratch. And yeah, as I say, we're just sitting on them. They're all at around like 70-80% done, and it's kind of frustrating, but also kind of nice because we can like tinker and like have a bit of a play with them. And yeah, now as I say, so hopefully, fingers crossed, they're going to be coming out at some point. And yeah, you are going to get the biggest thanks in the album because like it was that basement that contributed to so many songs. It was man, it was
that's wild.
A nice experience. Like, but that's it. Like going back to our first Europe tour together, it was just one of those things where as soon as we'd like had a couple of shows together and like it just clicked, and it was so nice to like just be on the same wavelengths and just having loads of fucking fun. And Christ, that night we played Nines in the Red Rum, and we were all just off our fucking faces. Just it's that tour was just insane. It was again,
it was just relive it. That's for sure.
100%. And as I say, we owe you a tour at this point. We weren't able to fulfill our end of the bargain when you took us out on the road. So yeah.
That's one of the cool things, like when you're playing music and when you're a touring band, is you make these relationships with other bands. I mean, yeah, you're right. The card's in your hand right now, and we just pass it back and forth, and that's how this whole machine works and stuff like that. But of course, we'll come over and do another Europe tour. I can't wait to do it as soon as we get the green light, man. I mean, right now, for like people don't really talk about it, but bands often, they have bank payments to do. They got financial responsibilities as well, paying off, vehicles or whatever. Right now, there's no income. It's hard times, man. But as soon as we get the green light to hit the road, I plan to be on the road a hell of a lot as soon as I can.
Yeah, man. It's like, I imagine it's the same for you. Like, this is literally the first time, well, again, since I was like 14 or 15 and playing in my first bands, that like this is the longest I've gone without gigging. Like, it is horrible. Yeah. Like, it's So as soon as it's able to be a thing again, it's going to be grabbing onto it with both hands and never letting go. It's
Well, that's where you kind of really appreciate what you do as well. Like, I handle it, I'm doing okay, then I get kind of depressed a bit, and then I go all crazy for a day, then I come back and I'm kind of handling it. But I mean, it's such a big part of my life and your life. It's like the weekends coming along, where are we playing, or fall's coming up, where are we going on tour? It's just like such a huge part of my life is just on hold right now. I hate it.
No, it's just so odd. And like, but again, as you say, it's really nice to have those moments where, like, even when it gets a bit shit, you then have something that like really pulls you up. Like, again, when all this first kicked off, and the realization, again, when we had that gig booked all the way off in February and all this kind of stuff, I was so like, just, is it ever going to happen again? Like, what is happening? And then within the space of a week, so a band that I've like fucking loved forever. They are basically the band that I used to go see as a kid all the time, called the JB Conspiracy. I've very fortunately have got to tour with them and play with them a few times, like in the last few years. And they put out some songs which I didn't realise they'd taken demo tracks that I'd played on and like mastered them up and put them onto the recording. And I literally didn't know that until I listened to I watched the video of these released songs. It was like, fuck, that's me. And just that like lifted me miles high. And then like 2 days later, Stomp came out, and like, as you say, Stomp got such a good reception. We were so lucky. Like, again, it did like on views and stuff, it did better than Bull, like, which was insane. Like, it's so cool to see that. And yeah, as I say, within a week, I literally went from like, fuck, music's dead. Like, I've wasted my life doing this. Why didn't I get a normal job? To like, no, actually, it's the best. This is why you fucking do it. And yeah,
well, that's it.
It'll work
And
out.
personally, I can't live my life just 9 to 5. You know what I mean? I can't do it. I would be so depressed, man, if I didn't have, like, you know, some kind of adventure or something you're pushing forward with. You know, I don't understand how a lot of people live life, you know, working 9 to 5, two weeks off a year where they go to a chalet or something, then it's back to the grind of 40, 45 hours. Fuck that shit, man. I ain't living my life that way. And you can't make me.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it's yeah, don't get me wrong, I'm very glad that not everyone wants to do this. Again, I'm speaking as someone that's in a band that's managed to claw its way up the UK scene just because we've never given up, and lots of other bands have, and we've slowly managed to just outlast a lot of people.
So survival of the fittest going on here.
I don't know if you can look at us and call us the fittest. I think this is
cheers to that, brother.
Yeah, damn straight. But, no, I've joked for years with Daddy that, like, if all else breaks down, it's going to be me, him, and the cockroaches, like in the post-apocalyptic wasteland, just in that shitty old van playing ska punk to rooms of irradiated rants.
Is that band still running?
Yeah, just about. It is. It's outside my house over there at the moment, as it has been for the last few months. Yeah, just paying for it because, as you say, you know, that doesn't stop. You still have to keep it all insured and shit. So, yeah, but no, it's still
one of the differences. That to me is one of the differences between touring in Europe and touring in North America. North America, all the touring vans are like Ford Econolines. Over there, they're all Sprinter style vans. I love those things, man.
Yeah, man. No, this, of all the vans we've had, this is the best van. But that is not a high margin. That is. But yeah, no, it's done us all right. In fact, the last van we had. After we traded it into, I don't know what the equivalent would be for you guys. It's like banger racing, which is basically sort of like half NASCAR, but also you crash into each other, and it's like demolition derby type thing. And so we sold our van to like some people that take part in the demolition derby thing. And there's a video of it like getting in this crash, and the entire like top of the roof just goes like flying the fuck off. And we're watching it being like, shit, no, we could have been in that. Like, that's our van.
It's funny, when I grew up in the country, right? And right beside our house was where they had the demolition derby every year. So I grew up always going to demolition derby, you know, as a young kid and this kind of thing. Then I remember I was 15 years old. I got my first car when I was 15. It was the Super 6 Ferrari with no ignition in it. You had to literally stick your 2 fingers on after you switched on the battery. My buddy wired up a battery on it. Switch it on, put your fingers in the ignition, find this little piece and turn it, and it would start. But I bought that car because I really wanted to drive in the demolition derby. But I had no patience at all. So a couple of weeks before demolition derby came along, and by this time I was 16, and I wanted to drive in it. But I thought I should go test out the car a little bit. So there was a gravel pit down the road. Start doing jumps with this car, man, and cracked the frame. It was like this. The wheels weren't even freaking touching the ground. So that was the end of my demolition derby career.
well, it's the demolition derby's lost is music's gain, man. That's.
We got to come out with a touring van demolition derby. I'm in, man. Right, sign me up anytime. I'm there.
That's it. Yeah, I have like a tour that starts off one band getting knocked out each night until only one makes it to the last destination.
Man, I was on this one tour with a band called The Brains. Do you know The Brains?
Yeah.
No. Yeah, so we're on tour. I think we had like 30 shows all across Canada, both bands together, and we're all best friends and stuff like this. But I remember we were coming down the Rocky Mountains, and we're kind of pushing, going pretty fast, a little faster than you should going down this mountain road, you know. But we're pushing so hard that, and it's like a windy road. You'd have to hit the brakes hard before every turn, right? Both vans at the same time, the brakes started smoking. And we pulled over, and literally one tire, like, it caught on fire, you know, and you could see the brakes were literally red hot. So we're on the side of this mountain, both vans. Now between the two vans was this car with a family in it. Now, because the roads are so small, they're kind of trapped between both vans, you know, so they had to pull over at the same time. And like, they had two little kids, super cute kids, you know, but like really small. I'm talking like 2-year-old type thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, so we're in the middle of no fucking where, right? In the mountains of British Columbia or something like this. And I'm like, I don't know if you ever remember that movie with the plane crash and stuff, and they called it Alive, and people started eating everybody. So here we are for like not even 15 minutes. I'm like, I got kids. You gotta laugh at any situation in this life. You know what I mean? They laughed.
Yeah. No, it's always better when they laugh as well. That's less awkward.
Well, Bobble, my friend, listen, I can't wait to get back out on the road with you, and it will come soon enough. I'm so happy that you dropped by to be on the show today. My brother,
100%, dude.
Cheers to you, man.
Cheers to you as well, dude.
To all the guys in Faintest Idea.
Nice. Yeah, we'll do, dude. Give
man.
love to everyone in Cayman. Like, it's, been too long. Fucking love to all of you guys. It's
absolutely, man. We'll get out of this shit together. Peace out, brother.
Yeah. Cheers, Bob.
Love ya.
Love you too, mate.
Oh, Cayman don't know shit.